Hello my lovelies, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, hi, my name is Mary and I give you an extra warm welcome. I would love it if you can click the subscribe button and stay for a while. I upload 3 times a week. Get ready with me, shop my stash, trying on new makeup. If it's beauty or makeup related, I will be posting it. And if you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you more than you know. So of course, as you can tell from the title of the video, BK Beauty recently launched some new blushes, the Core Complexion Trio. I went ahead and purchased all 3, although I don't think you can purchase them individually yet. I think you have to purchase them as a set. I enjoy BK Beauty brushes and I was very intrigued when I saw these. So I purchased them so that I can demo all 3 brushes for you and compare to the other brushes that I feel these were inspired by. If you want to see these brushes in action and hear my thoughts, then just go ahead and keep on watching. All right, my lovelies, as you could see, hair is pulled back. I did already put my primers on. I went into the Wet n Wild Primer Serum, Gucci Mattifying Primer for my T-zone, Rare Beauty Illuminating Hydrating Primer, I think that's what it is. And then I did use the Refi Beauty Under Eye Balm. Okay, so this 3-piece brush set from BK Beauty, it retails for $95. It is the Core Complexion Trio. Let me tell you just a tiny bit. The 115 Medium Contour Foundation, that's the one that's in the middle, perfectly sized between the 109 Mini and the 101 Contoured Foundation brushes. I have the 101, but not the 109. This brush is ideal for liquid or cream foundations and helps maximize coverage effortlessly. The 116 Small Round Foundation, which is this one right here, the little sister to our founder's favorite 106 round foundation brush, which I do own and I do truly enjoy for foundation. This multitasker is perfect for applying cream bronzer, contour, and blush. And the 114 dual-sided concealer brush, which is this one here, a multitasking essential. This dual-sided brush is perfect for applying, blending, and setting concealer. Use the lighter fibers for seamless application of liquid cream concealer and the darker fibers to set with powder for a smooth finish. So if you purchased or saw the collaboration they did with Nikki LaRose, she has a very similar brush that she created more for foundation. So a double-sided foundation brush where you can apply your foundation and then set the foundation with the same brush. I will compare every brush to which it was inspired by, except for, I don't have, like I said, the 101, but I do have the 109, which is smaller than the one in this set. Let's go ahead and open her up. Comes like this. All right, so here they are. Super soft. I do enjoy the softness that BK Beauty brushes have. Let's get started with the makeup application portion of this video. Okay, so we are going to start with the angled foundation brush. This is the 115. So this is a medium version of the 101, which is, I feel, double the size of this. I never purchased that brush because I felt it was too big for my personal liking to apply foundation. But when an extension to the Core brush collection was added, this one, the 109, was added. And as you could see, is the very same shape. It's just in a smaller version. So this one is the in-between the smaller version, the mini version, the 109 and the 101. So if I had the 101 and I put it right here, you would see that it's much bigger than this one. This one is second, and then this would be the third, the smallest one. I enjoy this for cream blush, cream highlight as well. I did try to use this for foundation, but it's just a tad bit too small. So I think this is going to be absolutely perfect for foundation today. And I'm going to use the Urban Decay Face Bond Foundation in shade number 16. I mean, I have a feeling I'm gonna enjoy this brush for foundation. I just feel like it's the perfect size. The angle helps a lot. I mean, I feel like the 101 is a bestseller for a reason. I just, like I keep saying, it was too big for my personal liking. Oh yeah. It's perfect. Perfect size. This is exactly what I've been wanting. When I picked up the 109, I thought maybe it would be a tiny bit bigger like this. But when I saw that it was actually smaller, I knew it wasn't going to be one that I use for foundation. But I feel like this one is perfect. Yep. See how it just blended everything. And if you're somebody who uses the same brush that you use for foundation for concealer, you could very easily tuck this in underneath and blend out your concealer as well. Perfect. I knew I would love it for foundation. Okay, now for the other brush that I'm going to use next, the 114. This brush was inspired by the N17 from Nikki LaRose. So this has fibers for creams and liquids and fibers for powder. Here's the side-by-side comparison. So it's definitely a mini to this one. Powder side for both. I used the Nikki brush for liquid and cream blushes. So I'll use this side for the creamer liquid, and then I'll use this side for the powder blushes. I tried using this for my foundation, and I feel like the shape is just too small for my personal taste. Didn't work out for that, but it works absolutely beautiful for cream and liquid blushes, and also for powder blushes. So this one is meant for concealer. I am going to use it that way, but we'll see if I end up using it for that. Remember that, yes, even though a product is advertised for a specific reason, doesn't necessarily mean that's exactly how you have to use that product. You can use it what fits best for you. But for today, I will use it as my concealer brush, see how it goes. I always, and do mean always, powder my under eye with a puff, because when I don't, it just does not stick. I get more creasing than normal, but for today's video, I will attempt it and see how it goes. This is the Dior Forever in 2N. I purchased my correct shade for the Sephora sale. Okay, so I'm gonna use the cream and liquid side. Okay, blended it out. Super easy. It's kind of reminding me of painting. I usually like my brushes a little bit fluffier when it comes to my concealer, but this is actually working pretty well. Not mad at how it's blending everything. I did not wash these, but I did use my little Sephora Daily Brush Cleanser, sprayed it on my towel that I use to clean my brushes, and did just like a little spot clean before using it. Okay, but that actually blended this beautifully. Okay, now I'm going to use the side for powder. I've been using the Dolce & Gabbana pressed powder for my under eyes. I'm back on this because it's so pretty. And I'm just picking up the powder. This is a very finely milled, so I have to really... There we go. Okay, let me first spray some. This is from ColourPop. And I'm going to use the liquid side. Just put a tiny bit of the setting powder. And then set my under eyes with setting spray, not powder. I'm using the wet side. I still have powder on this side. I always set my under eyes with setting spray. Okay, now I'm going to turn to the side that has the powder. Tap a tiny bit. Don't want too much. And I'm just going to tap the powder in and set my under eyes. You know, even though this brush is flat. Like I feel like it maneuvers pretty well, which is nice. I thought it was going to be too stiff for me to use it, but it's actually, I like how it's just almost shaping with the shape of my face. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so this side I'm going to apply my concealer with this as well, but I am going to powder with my puff. And by the end of the day, I'll see if I can tell the difference. Because like I mentioned, I powder my under eyes every time with a puff, but we're gonna do a little experiment today and see if this brush changes my mind about that. So far, enjoying this more than I thought I was going to. I'm very specific with the brushes that I use for my concealer. My favorite one is the Mini Base from Sonia G. I also enjoy this one from BK and Nikki LaRose, the N14, just for the concealer. And then I also enjoy the large concealer brush from BK Beauty. I forget what it's called. I think it was an extension of the Core line. So the fact that I'm enjoying this, okay. All right, I was going to powder my face and then I just remembered that the other brush is for cream products. Well, cream bronzer and cream blush or liquid, whichever. So this is the 106, which is what inspired this brush. As you could tell, bristles are shorter and it's smaller, like a stubbier version of the foundation brush. I did spot clean this. So I think what I'll do is I'll go in with a liquid bronzer and I'll also go in with a cream bronzer and see what I prefer, because I do feel like depending on what product I'm using, I switch what brush I use, especially when it comes to cream products. The BK and Nikki N15, I love this for cream bronzer, so you can tell the difference in shape right there. The BK 111, I love also this for cream and liquid bronzer. I want to say mostly cream just because of the shape. And even though it's fluffy, I feel like it can work a little bit harder than the Nikki and BK brush. But as you could tell, this one's like a fan, puffy, flat brush. This one's a round shape. So I'm going to use this with both liquid and cream and see how it goes. This is the Makeup by Mario liquid bronzer, shade medium. So I'm just going to apply this. I only have powder under my eyes and see how this goes. Ooh. Okay, a little bit more dense than the BK and Nikki and the 115. So a little bit more control, but that worked beautifully. And I'm going to use the Dominique just because the tone of this is very similar to the Makeup by Mario. Shade medium, I think, is the one I have. Yeah, medium tan from Dominique. So I'll apply this and blend it out. Okay, so right off the bat, I'm preferring the 111 for my cream bronzer. I just feel like I need it to be a tiny bit bigger. I feel like with this one, you probably have more control when it comes to liquids. Whereas when it's creams, since the product is not moving too much, I prefer a little bit bigger. Like this one where you can really just work it super quickly. You know, I hope I'm making sense. Yeah, and then we'll also test out blush and see how it goes with that. Okay, so I think I'll do the same thing for blushes. I'll use my liquid on this side. This is the Huda Beauty Blush Filter in Latte. I'll go ahead and use it as a blush for today, which I have, and I do enjoy it as a blush. It has a tiny bit of a pinky reddish undertone. Wiping it real quick. And oh yeah, so for sure, when it comes to liquids, I think just more control with this one than I would with, like, say, the 111. Although I don't use the BK 111 for blush. That's specifically for cream bronzers. Okay, so this is the 112, and I do use this for cream and powder blush. This one as well, like I said, the 109, perfect for cream and liquid blush. So I feel like these two serve a very similar purpose. So if you have this, you probably don't need this. More than likely, probably January or February of next year, 2025, is when these will be available individually. Okay, now for cream blush, this is from Chanel. Ardent Brick is the tone. So I'm just gonna dip my brush in here. And this is fairly pigmented. So I am going to tap it on the back of my hand. Oh yeah, performing very, very similarly to the 109. I guess it just depends on what shape you prefer. Super pretty. Oh, I love this cream blush. Okay, and is that all the brushes? That is all the brushes. I'm gonna add a tiny bit of the Chanel on this side. Okay, so let me go ahead and finish off the face. We can talk real quick, and yeah, okay. All right, my lovelies, I am back. Makeup is nice and done. Let me tell you what else I went into as far as the rest of the makeup goes. For powder bronzer, I went into the Pat McGrath and the RMS. I just mixed the two. Powder blush, I went into the Kosas in Dreamland. Oh, did I set my face? I did. I used the RMS loose powder to set the rest of my face. For highlighter, I went into the Dior Holiday 2024 in 001 Hors Lumière. Mascara, I have on the Tower 28 and the Anastasia. Second time using this so far, really, really loving it, and I understand why it's a lot of people's favorite mascara. For eyebrows, I have on the Refi Brow Pencil and the Got To Be Brow Gel. For lips, I have on Melt Cosmetics Lip Liner in Cinnamon and the lipstick from the Fairly Yours 2 collection in Cersei. But yeah, here's the makeup. Everything looks absolutely beautiful. Okay, so now for this new 3-piece brush set from BK Beauty. First thought that comes to mind is if you already have a good amount of BK Beauty brushes, you probably don't need any of these brushes. This one here, the 115, I'm glad it is in my collection, even though I didn't really need it, because I do have the 106, which is the bigger version of one of the new ones they launched, and I actually do really enjoy that for foundation. If you are somebody who has the 101 and think it's just a tiny bit too big, then I can see you enjoying this one just a tiny bit more because it is smaller. I also feel like this would probably be a really good foundation brush if you use stick foundations a lot, just because it's a little bit more stiff compared to the 106. You can probably blend out a stick foundation a lot faster with this one. But if I'm being 100% honest, I didn't really need this one. Does that mean it sucks? No, I do truly enjoy it. Okay, the next one, the 116, which they're suggesting for you to use with cream or liquid bronzer and blushes. I have the 111 for my cream bronzers. I use that for both cream and liquid, and it works beautifully. This one, I would say you do get more control when it comes to the liquids versus the creams, but I still feel like the 111 works pretty well. As you saw, also the 109, I use this for cream blush. Also the BK N17 with Nikki LaRose. This one's 2-in-1. I use this side for cream blush and then this for the powder blush, which I used this side for the Kosas blush. So I technically didn't need this because I do have a couple of BK brushes that I already do with this one does. Okay, now for this one, the 114, which is, I'm going to be honest, this is the only reason why I actually was super intrigued by this 3-piece set, this brush right here. I just didn't want to wait until they were individually available. But so far, this is the one that impressed me the most when it comes to this trio, because it blended out my concealer literally so nicely. I did not think I was going to enjoy this as much as I am. I thought it was going to be a little bit too stiff. It's just too flat, because I don't usually use flat brushes like this for my concealer, but it actually worked so nicely. And even the powder side, the side that I use this brush with, it still looks so good. So I'm excited to see how it's going to look by the end of the day, because this brush might have finally switched me to use brushes again to powder my under eyes. So for me, this is the brush that was worth it the most in this trio. It's 2 brushes in one. For me personally, it would take away of you having to use a concealer brush and a puff to do my under eyes. All right, my lovelies, that's going to be it for this video. I hope you enjoyed me demoing every brush individually and then comparing to other brushes that I do have from the brand and I use for the same exact usage. I feel like for me personally, this is the only brush that is really bringing something different to the table, just because my collection of BK Beauty brushes is so big. I did purchase these myself. I did not receive it in PR. I am not on the BK Beauty PR list. Just a little FYI. I would definitely say wait until they are sold individually, and then that way, if you have a large BK Beauty brush collection like myself, you can purchase the one that you're interested in the most, and then that way you can figure out whether you enjoy that one or not. Yeah, and then I've also heard comments of people stating that BK Beauty brushes are too expensive. They have sales. The holidays are coming, so they might have a sale coming up. If you are hesitant to pay the price, at least buy them when they have like the 20-30% off sale. And then that way you can see for yourself whether, yes, they are worth the price tag that they have or not. I personally truly enjoy so many of the BK Beauty brushes. Some of their brushes are like staples in my everyday makeup. Okay, that's going to be it. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate every single one of you. You have no idea. All the comments, all the likes, if you use my links to shop. It truly all does mean the world to me. With that being said, do not forget to give the video a big thumbs up. And also don't forget to click the subscribe button if you haven't already. And also let me know if you skipped or picked up this launch down below in the comments section so that we can talk and chat. I will see you all on my next video. Bye.